All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As I sit here outside of work, contemplating my life decisions, man, what the heck? But nah, seriously, there ain't nothing wrong with this. A little 6 to 4 action, 10 hours days. Just wanted to hop on here real quick. I know I probably won't be off of work by the time they announce it today, but you know, the 3 permanent opponents for South Carolina was kind of leaked yesterday, according to, I think it was Chris Lowe. He put out what's presumably everybody's 3 permanent opponents for the SEC for next year, starting next year. And I guess there's some validity to it because several Gamecock insiders and people like that, like Wes Mitchell, they retweeted it and put it out. So there might be some traction, might be something to it. But South Carolina's 3 common opponents in the SEC for the upcoming or for next year's season is supposed to be Georgia, Florida, and Kentucky. I got no problem with that. I know a lot of Georgia fans don't seem to think, you know, playing South Carolina means a whole lot or it's a rivalry or something like that. But I mean, we've been playing that game for as long as I can remember, you know, as long as I can remember. We've been playing Georgia Bulldogs even before we came into the SEC. They have this border bash down there at Augusta on the Riverwalk every year. So to me, it kind of makes sense for South Carolina and Georgia to be a permanent opponent. And I think this is something they're going to revisit down the line. So, you know, don't go and get your panties all up in a wad. It could change, you know, it could change in a couple years, you know, when they revisit. But I like it. Like I said, I think South Carolina and Georgia should play every year. They're right there on the border of each other. They've been playing for a long time. This year and the 24th season, we didn't play Georgia. So I'm glad that, according to Chris Lowe, if that's the true common opponents for South Carolina, I'm all for that. Florida, glad to have them back on the schedule. You know, a lot of people say that Florida's down bad now. Are they really though, or is it a product of their? Is it a product of their tough schedule they got? I mean, I know Billy Napier is not probably the best coach or not the best coach in college football, but could it be a product of, you know, their schedule? I don't know. But glad to have them back on as well. I think that's a good matchup for South Carolina. They're not always going to be down. They got talent there in the state of Florida. They always recruit well. I think if they get a better coach in there, they'll be back to being one of the top echelon programs, or if they get the right coach in there, I should say, they'll be back to being one of the top echelon programs, you know, in the SEC. Kentucky, I got no problem playing Kentucky either. I like that game. I really like South Carolina playing Kentucky. We've had some great success against Kentucky, so I don't mind, you know, keeping him as a common opponent. And if it's true that these are the 3, you know, I'm kind of glad to get rid of the Texas A&M as the common and Missouri. Not really a big fan of playing them 2 teams every year. So we won't totally be getting rid of them because they go on with that 3-6-6 model. So you play your 3 commons, then you play 6 other SEC schools. I guess whichever ones you draw that year. You'll play them 1 year at home, and then the next year you'll play them away. You know, so it'll flip flop back and forth. You'll play some at home and some away, and then the following year you'll flip them. You know, if you played them at home, you'll play them away. So, and then after that, after you go through the home and away with them, you'll play the other 6 teams in the SEC. So I got no problem with that model. I like the 9-game schedule. Like I said, competition, or like Coach Beamer says as well, you know, competition brings out the best in you. And if you're going to be one of these programs that compete for a championship and SEC title, you got to play the best teams out there. So I got no problem with the 9-game schedule. But like I said, hopefully this is the 3 opponents. We'll see it later this afternoon. Or heck, by the time some of y'all watch this video, we'll probably already know, because I'm not exactly sure what time they're going to announce it. I think they're going to do a show about it tonight. So no idea why somebody had to leak it. I guess just to get their clicks, maybe. I don't know, but we'll see. Hopefully it is what Chris Lowe said and what I'm putting out there as well. So, and I think Jackpot put it out there yesterday evening as well. So, but anyway, I'm getting ready to head in here and bust out this 10 hours. But y'all have a great day. Don't forget to hit the like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.